In a landmark move, the Australian Army successfully launched its first precision strike missile, PrSM, in partnership with the U.S. Army during Exercise Talisman Sabre 2025. The launch marks a significant step in Australia's shift towards standoff strike options, reflecting a broader strategic recalibration aimed squarely at deterring the People's Republic of China. The Australian Department of Defense said in a statement, "The Albanese government has delivered on its commitment to rapidly boost the Australian Defence Force's long-range strike capability with the test firing of a precision strike missile in Australia for the first time today." Exercise Talisman Sabre is a biennial, multinational military exercise led by Australia and the United States. Talisman Sabre 2005 was the inaugural exercise in this series. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes how Australia sent a powerful message to China with PrSM Test. Before we proceed, a word on NordVPN, which is one of the most trusted and fastest VPN brand that has a no-log policy validated by Deloitte. NordVPN provides a 256-bit encrypted tunnel that protects your privacy and also enables you to access contents that are blocked based on geolocation. Its threat protection system helps you avoid phishing, scams, and malware. NordVPN application is available for all the major platforms as well as browsers. Get an exclusive NordVPN deal with massive saving by going to nordvpn.com/defense or clicking the link in the description. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. The Australian DoD emphasized in its press release, "The test conducted today was 2 years ahead of schedule and followed the delivery of the first PrSM a year ahead of schedule, as well as the first HIMARS 2 months ahead of schedule." It comes after Australia and the United States signed a memorandum of understanding earlier this year for PrSM production, sustainment, and follow-on development. The test was conducted jointly by Australian and U.S. Army officials at the Mount Bundy training area in the Northern Territory. U.S. Army Chief of Staff, Chief Technology Officer Alex Miller told reporters, "A HIMARS launcher sent PrSM about 70 kilometers, 44 miles, to hit a stationary target during the live fire." During a media briefing, U.S. Army Colonel John Harvey, director of the Theater Fires Element for U.S. Army Pacific, stated that soldiers from the 14th Regiment, 10th Brigade, fired the PrSM, indicating a new level of cooperation between the Army and one of its AUKUS counterparts. PrSM is a replacement of MGM-140 Army Tactical Missile System, or ATACMS, which came into service more than 3 decades ago, in 1991. The legacy system has reached the limits of its upgrade potential, and its range of 190 miles, 300 kilometers, restricted its effectiveness. The PrSM program was launched to replace it, and Lockheed Martin was selected as the program's primary contractor in 2016 to deliver this missile system. The PrSM Increment 1 has a maximum range of 499 kilometers or 310 miles and is meant for surface-to-surface warfare. The missile is 13 feet 4 meters in length and has a diameter of 17 inches, 430 millimeters. It is powered by a solid propellant rocket motor. The guidance system includes INS with GPS. The warhead is 200 pounds, 91 kilograms, and is of high explosive fragmentation type. PrSM Increment 1 can engage a wide variety of point and imprecisely located targets. This is particularly critical for supporting brigade, division, corps, Army, theater, joint coalition forces, and Marine Air-Ground Task Forces in full, limited, or expeditionary operations. The unit cost is about $3.5 million. Similar to ATACMS, PrSM is compatible with M270 MLRS and HIMARS. The missile features a thinner, more streamlined design than its predecessor, enabling 2 PrSM rounds to fit in a single launch pod, doubling the loadout capacity of the 2 systems compared to ATACMS. So, M270 and HIMARS will be able to accommodate 4 and 2 PrSMs, respectively. This increased efficiency is made possible by advanced propulsion technology, which delivers greater speed and range without being bulky. Designed for all-weather, around-the-clock operations, the PrSM equips field artillery units with deep strike capabilities. Its open systems architecture ensures maximum affordability and flexibility, allowing for modular adaptations and future growth. The PrSM will replace the existing ATACMS inventory, addressing the need for a modern, compliant system. It ensures compliance with insensitive munitions and cluster munition policies, a significant upgrade from its predecessor. While Increment 1 is pretty capable and fills a critical gap, there is more to come. Increment 2, with a multi-mode seeker, known as the Land-Based Anti-Ship Missile Seeker, is able to engage moving targets, including rivals' surface combatants in seas. A 2024 test in the Pacific successfully proved the missile's ability to engage moving maritime targets, showcasing its adaptability in joint all-domain operations. PrSM Increment 3 would add in enhanced lethality payloads. Increment 4 aims to achieve a flight range exceeding 1,000 kilometers or 620 miles, potentially doubling the range of the current version. The United States held off developing a weapon like the Precision Strike Missile for decades because of the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, a Cold War-era agreement signed in 1987 by President Ronald Reagan and Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev. The INF Treaty banned all ground-launched ballistic and cruise missiles with ranges between 500 and 5,500 kilometers, roughly 310 to 3,420 miles. By May 1991, both countries had eliminated around 2,700 nuclear and conventional missiles and their launch systems. The treaty helped defuse one of the most dangerous standoffs in Europe, particularly between U.S. Pershing II and cruise missiles and the Soviet SS-20. However, the landscape shifted. On August 2, 2019, the United States officially withdrew from the INF Treaty, citing Russian noncompliance. Specifically, Russia had already developed and deployed the Novator 9M729, a ground-launched cruise missile that violated the treaty's limits. At the same time, China, never a signatory to the INF Treaty, has built up an enormous arsenal of intermediate-range missiles. The Chinese People's Liberation Army Rocket Force reportedly possesses over 2,300 ballistic and cruise missiles, 95% of which would have been banned under the INF. This gave China a major regional advantage, especially in the Indo-Pacific. The development and deployment of PrSM is more than just a technological milestone. It's a strategic recalibration. It fills a critical gap in U.S. and allied military capabilities that existed under the INF framework, while adversaries exploited its constraints. The missile placed in Europe will be able to threaten Russian strategic and tactical assets. Australia has been increasingly wary of Chinese intentions. PrSM will be great deterrence. Similarly, if the missile is made available to Taiwan and Japan, it could be a major problem for PLA. With the INF Treaty no longer in effect, PrSM gives the U.S. and its allies credible strike options that is fast, mobile, and survivable. It's not just a missile, it's a message that the U.S. won't allow countries like China to dominate key theaters unchecked.